It's bigger, has more features, more power, the iCube Ultra from Sculpfun, coming up in today's video. Hi everyone, welcome to the Laser Channel where we learn, create, and share. My name is Greg, and next to me is the all-new iCube Ultra by Sculpfun. And in this video, I'm going to get this unboxed. We're going to check out what's included with the machine before moving on to some sample projects to check out the machine in action. Let's get started by getting this unboxed, and while I do that, I'll go over some of the basic tech specs on the machine. This is going to be a mid-size enclosed machine with an eye-friendly Class 1 laser guard. The work area comes in at 150 by 150 millimeters. That's 5.9 inches in freedom units. Other machines in this form factor are typically around 100 by 100 millimeters or even smaller. The machine comes in my choice of a 12-watt laser diode module or bundled with a kit with a 1.2-watt IR module. There's a built-in exhaust fan and filter system. The Ultra includes an autofocus system, something I've never seen on a machine this size. Software compatibility includes paid Lightburn, free laser Gerbil, and the Sculpfun app, making this Windows, Mac OS, Android, and iOS compatible. Wow, this is some really aggressive white tape. It almost feels like it's some duct tape, and it is definitely keeping this orange guard in place. It's also leaving some residue behind. I'll use the piece of tape itself to pull some of that residue right off. Complete your laser creating environment with these accessories: a full-size smoke filter, air assist pump, rotary unit, and camera module. For more tech specs about the machine, I'll have links down in the video description. Here's everything that comes with the machine: USB cable, the 12-watt laser module, power pack, safety glasses, laser repair kit which has a spare protective lens, sample material, some tools and fasteners for installing the hose adapter, a basic manual for the final setup and assembly of the machine, which is essentially going to be installing the laser module and the exhaust hose. The 12-watt laser module features an all-aluminum case which is going to help dissipate heat, and to really get rid of the heat, the unit is topped off with a high-velocity stack fan. When you check out the bottom, here's the focusing mechanism for the autofocus. I can't wait to check that out later on in this video. On the opposite side is going to be the information sticker stating that this indeed is a 12-watt laser module. A few moments later, and I have the hose attached and the laser module fitted. All together, that only took a few minutes. Really easy, really straightforward. And now we're on to doing a quick walk around to check out the machine up close, starting with the nice access door that is built into the guard. And I see there's a little magnet on the top here, which is going to tell me that while the machine is running, if I open up the door, the machine will stop. If I need even more access to the machine, this entire eye-friendly orange guard removes out. There is a little guide track across the bottom on both sides and across the top, ensuring that this is a nice Class 1 eye-friendly guard. That makes sure that all of the laser scatter light stays contained within the machine itself. I'll get this turned and we'll check out the right side of the machine where we have the main power switch, USB connection for the computer connection, and the USB connection for the optional camera and main power in. And checking out the opposite side, the left side, pretty straightforward. Located in the back is a nice convenient e-stop. If I run into any problems, I can press that and all motion on the machine stops, including the laser module from firing the laser. On the back side of the machine is going to be this long hose. This is going to be about 1 meter or about 3 feet long. Just above that is going to be a USB key. This needs to be in the machine in order for it to operate. If I don't want anybody running the machine when I'm not around, I can simply remove this and the machine will not run until it is reinstalled. Directly next to that is a small 2-pin white connector. This is part of the air assist pump system. I'll get this flipped back around, and as we can tell, the machine, it does have some weight, but it is still very easy to move around. I'll get the orange guard removed and we'll take a look at the inside of the machine. The inside is a very neat and clean layout. We can see on the x-axis there's going to be 2 metal bars to guide the laser module around, and for the other direction there's one guide rod right here and another one up tucked right there. And for the laser module itself, the overall height I can adjust with these 2 thumb screws. Once again though, this machine is equipped with autofocus, and that's what this lever is hanging down. This will index down until this touch probe senses the material and tells the machine that it is in fact in focus. Behind the laser module is going to be the built-in air filter system, and right next to that is a 4-pin connector for the optional rotary accessory. The floor of the machine has this nice black aluminum panel. There's a little white corner mark in each of the 4 corners. That is going to be the work area of the machine. This plate is held in place with 2 screws that are easily removed with the included Allen wrench. I've got this removed so that we can pull this directly out of the machine and see that we can actually engrave on whatever the machine is sitting on. If I want to engrave my work table with the plate removed, now I can do that. Now we're on to my favorite part of the video, next to unboxing a brand new machine, and that's running some sample projects so we can check the machine in action, making a creative project. I've already grabbed the sample materials that come with the machine, some 2 or 3 millimeter bass plywood that's already in the machine. We're going to check that out in a minute, but first we got to talk about some software for a quick second. Normally on the laser channel, I like to use Lightburn software. I'm really familiar with it. It has a broad compatibility, including the iCube Ultra. For this video, and with this kind of beginner type entry-level machine that's packed full of features, I like to try the manufacturer's software, and that's exactly what I did. I navigated over to Sculpfun, found the software download page, and the very first thing that's at the top of the screen is their software for Windows, which I am running on my PC, and I downloaded that. I got a couple things I want to share about that experience with all of you. When it initially goes to download, it is downloading from a Google Drive, and the file size at 76 meg is too large for the computer to scan it before it downloads it, so it just pops up this message here. This is normal. The other message that I got when I actually go to install the software is initially Windows doesn't want to install it, and that's because the software is missing a Windows certificate. So it doesn't know what to do with that software. I know that it's just a simple certificate missing from the software, so I allowed my computer to install it anyways. If these are things that you're not entirely comfortable with, that's okay. Lots of different software that you can run with the iCube, like I mentioned, Lightburn software or the free Laser Gerbil software. Once I installed the software and launched it, this is the landing screen that I see, and in the upper corner, we're going to see that it already connected up to the machine. When I install the Sculpfun software, if I say it correctly, there's nothing extra to download or install. There's no USB drivers. That's all built into the Sculpfun software, making it a really easy setup. Creating projects are going to be really easy. There's essentially 4 different steps. I'm going to load a graphic. I'm going to pick some settings. I'll set the focus, the autofocus on the machine, and verify the placement of my material, and I'm ready to start the project. Let's go back to step number 1 and pick a graphic. There are some built-in graphics built into the software. I'll click on the side here and find something suitable for today's video. Let's do this ice cream cone, and I'm going to shrink this down to the appropriate size, and I have my work material in the front left corner, and that's where I will place the graphic. With the graphic loaded, I'm ready to pick some settings. I can either do that by trial and error, or I could head back over to the Sculpfun website and look under the iCube Ultra, and they do have a parameter table for tons of different materials, and that's what I'm going to reference for my settings. I'm using the bass plywood, and here are the settings that I'll plug into the software. With my engraving parameters in the software, I'm ready to hit the autofocus button on the side of the machine. Lastly, I'll verify the placement of the material by going to Start and pressing the Frame button. I'll press confirm and we'll get started on our first sample project on the iCube Ultra. The first project is all complete and I can't wait to check this out. And by the way, when I secured my piece of work material down, I used some blue painter's tape to make sure that it didn't shift around during the engraving process. And here's what project number 1 looks like. A nice ice cream cone in the middle of June. Project number 2 is going to be an engraving on this rock, and to keep the rock in place, once again, I'll use some blue painter's tape rolled onto itself to keep it securely in place for this next project. The setup for project number 2 will be identical to project number 1. That first step is to load a graphic into the software, which I already did. We'll see that I found a nice feather. I think this will look perfect on that stone. Step 2, I picked out my settings. I'll press the button and let the machine do the focusing for me. And on to the final step, I'll hit the frame button to ensure that the graphic is placed in the correct spot over my work material. While project number 2 was running, I saw that the laser was kind of like interfacing with the stone. It was doing something to it, but through the eye-friendly guard, I didn't see that it was actually engraving it. And now that it's complete, let's see what kind of results that we have. And I can tell that it marked it a little bit, and when I run my finger across the top of it, I can tell that it did add like a texture to it. Now, keeping in mind that that parameter chart that I looked at, that's just a guideline. I think I'm going to go back into the software, change some settings. Mainly, I'm going to add more power and slow the laser down, and I think we'll give it another go. And this is all part of the laser channel. I show you the good results, and I wouldn't say this is bad results. Maybe I could have picked a different rock. You know, this is just a random rock that I picked out along a beach somewhere, and I'm not even really sure if this is truly laser compatible, but I thought it'd be a fun project to try out in today's video. With that, I'll get this closed up and slow the machine down, get some more power, and check out what kind of results we get on try number 2. Here's a better view of it. It did engrave it, and I can feel the texture. I think the texture or the different like grain of the stone breaks up the fine detail of this feather engraving. I think I can do better, and I think I grabbed one of the least compatible materials to use with the laser in the shop. I do have some more material, like this slate coaster, and I know this is very compatible with a blue laser diode. I'm going to get this set up in the machine and we'll make another project. I'll use some blue painter's tape to make sure that the coaster doesn't shift around during project number 3. Hey, before I jump into project number 3, I wanted to use the project number 2 kind of as a teaching point and a learning point. A couple of the takeaways are that parameter setting sheet. That's a nice guideline. As we saw with this project, I went outside of what they had recommended on there because, well, stone, that's kind of ambiguous. Technically, the slate coaster that I have in the machine is stone, and we know that it's going to engrave vastly different than this random beach rock that I picked up. The other part is, not every time I go to make a project on this channel does it turn out perfectly, and on this one, I'm going to say it's going to be user error on my part that, well, I didn't really pick a fully compatible work material to go and put into the iCube Ultra. Now with that all covered, let's get started on project number 3 and check out the graphic that I've got loaded into the computer. Step number 1, I picked out my artwork. I found this phoenix, which is very fitting because I am going to rise from the ashes from my folly on project number 2. For step number 2, the settings, I am going to go with 100% power. The speed is right here, and the line spacing is right here. I'm ready to hit the start button here and use the control pad within the software once again to jog the laser head over the work material and hit the autofocus button on the side. I've already done that, and now I can hit the frame button and make sure that the laser is traveling over the work material. From where I'm sitting, that looks good. I'll get the camera set up and we'll get project number 3 going on the slate coaster. This time I can definitely tell we've got a great engraving. Get my tape off, and here's the very first look. Absolutely perfect, and all of the detail I was looking for. After running a couple projects on the machine, what do I think? Overall, I really like the machine. First of all, the form factor, it's a nice cube. It easily stores when not in use. And best of all, with this front removable guard, things like the power pack, the tools, the manual, all of that easily fits inside of the machine so that all the pieces and parts are kept with the machine for the next time I go to make some projects. The machine itself ran flawlessly today. I know on project number 2, on that stone, keep bringing it up, and that one's going to be on me. I picked a non-laser compatible material with it. The machine itself, though, did everything that it was supposed to. The Sculpfun software, that performed perfectly as well. Opening the software, the machine already connected up. I didn't have to do any configuration with that. The software just knew it wanted to go out and connect up to the machine. The layout of the software was straightforward and it made sense, and there's no extra stuff in there that I found confusing. Well, that's going to wrap up this video. If you like this video, don't forget to show it some love by giving it a like or subscribing to the channel. Not only is it a great way to help this channel grow, but it's an awesome way to connect video content like this with other great viewers just like you. And until we meet again in the next video, I'm Greg from the Laser Channel, where we learn, create, and share.